Welcome back to another episode of Wind Down Wednesday. I feel like it's been a minute since we've actually done a wind down. I don't even remember what the last one was that we did.
Birthdays.
That was like 2 weeks ago, I think, so it's not that bad. But this week we are talking about having your group, I guess you can say. In my head, I was calling this like having your crew or your squad, something like that, because it's something we have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we refer to them as. Typically, it's like the crew or the squad, whatever. I know it's kind of stupid, but kind of talk about the importance of that and why it can be very useful. But before we dive into that,
I'm Heather.
I'm Sam, and just wanted to point out what we're sipping on here. We've got these Athletic. I always call them Athletico. It's Athletic Brewing Co. I've got the Mexican lager or Mexican style copper.
Yes. I have the Upside Down Golden.
So that's what we're sipping on. These are zero proof beers, and they're actually really good. So if you're ever looking for something that's not or a non-alcoholic beer, good option, try Athletic. No, this is not an ad. No, we are not sponsored. It's just what we have, and it's delicious.
When it's like too early in the day to necessarily, it's never too early to start drinking, except for, maybe the times when it is. It's a great option.
We're also going to have some fun with some noise suppression because we do live in an apartment complex and the road is right there leading into it. So you might hear some cars going by now and then, but it was too nice to not film outside. It's like 75.
Yeah.
It's literally warmer outside than it is in our apartment right now, which is kind of crazy.
And the funny thing is, the last weekend I was off, it was cold. And
it was like 30 degrees. Welcome to Cincinnati, folks. But yeah, so we're talking about having a crew, having a squad, having that group of people that you can kind of go to when you need something, but as well as when you need to get something done, you can go to them. I feel like, I guess I'm going to speak more for myself on this one, but obviously you have access to them just as much as I do.
Yeah.
But there are essentially 3 people that I can be like, hey, someone gave me this random project or random request. I know I can go to one of these 3 people, if not a group or like a grouping of them, 2 of them, whatever, all 3 of them, and I can get it done. And those people are my brother, who you guys have met, Daniel. You've seen him on here before. My friend Trayton, who I refer to as my other brother. We've known each other since like 3rd grade, something like that. I don't remember. And then my friend Carly, who we've known since my freshman year of college back in 2016. I think about that for a second. So
you just gave away your age.
If someone wants to do math, do math. I could have graduated from high school early or late. I don't know. But I feel like it's nice to have a group like that because it's someone or a group that you can always go to when you need to get things done. And I feel like it's super nice to have because it makes life super not stressful, basically, because you know that you have someone backing you up on essentially anything, whether it's trying to find a new apartment, need help fixing your car, need to figure out something with your credit. It's nice to have a group that you can always go to and be like, hey guys, I need some help. Can you give me a hand here? So that's one of the things I really like about having a good group.
I think it's something that you kind of develop as you go throughout your life too, where you end up with those different friend groups. There's, the work group, where if I encounter a problem at work, there's the person I will go to for any issues I have. And then there's like the life, like friends, the people who just know really odd skills, where you're like, hey, I want to make a shelf or who knows what. And they're like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Or like, I would do this. And they just seem to know the odd bits of everything. I don't really question how they know it.
I feel like you run into those people. Like, yeah, it is maybe like a work friend that you'll run into, but you might not realize the skills that they necessarily have until you start to really interact with them and see that, oh, hey, this person has such and such skill. Like, again, one of your friends, her name is Macy, and she is wonderful. But our first interaction with her was you as a coworker. And then for me, she was one of my teammates on our volleyball team. That was really it. And then slowly, as we built that relationship, we found out that she loves woodworking.
She actually recently developed the woodworking skill.
That's true. But I think she always must have had some...
She's crafty.
Yeah, she's very hands-on, very crafty. She's developed this like love for woodworking, and now it's like, oh, if I need something built, because again, I live in an apartment, I don't have a garage, I can't build things super easily. The space that you're seeing right now where we're outside, this is all we have for outside space. So I can't like have a saw up here doing things, but she's able to do that. And she actually made us these really, really cool tasting boards, which I've yet to show you guys. So we'll have to do something where I show you those sometime.
Yeah, those will definitely be appearing.
So I do feel like this is something you develop over time, but it's something good to have these groups that you can, or individual people or a group that you can always call on and be like, hey guys, I need help with such and such, and that they're there to help you with it. Because if you don't, I feel like you end up in those situations where you're like, hey, I'm moving today. I have no one to help me. Or, hey, I fell and broke my leg. I have no one to come help me out around the house or something like that. So whatever it may be, I feel like it's a really good thing to make sure you have a good group.
A community.
Yeah, I guess. But it's okay to have that community really small.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of people. You just need a couple good ones.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Having a community. But also, obviously, you can be part of a community, whether that's like a sports group, a business group, your church groups, whatever it may be. You can have all of these groups. But having like that really good personal group that you can always go to, and you're like, hey guys, life. And they're like, all right, cool, let's figure this out. Let's work with it.
I think on the flip side, being a good person for another person
goes a long way.
Definitely, helps build that relationship. So I'm trying to think. Like I paint occasionally, and I've like done paintings for people. That's kind of my random thing. And if you invite me to dinner, I show up with a bottle of wine. So that's my other good
people
quality.
Appreciate it. But I mean, for you, I feel like a lot of people do really tend to like you because you are a very genuine person, and it helps people trust you. And then you get all these people be like, hey, Heather, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this?
That's fair.
Obviously.
Don't send me pictures of rashes. That's like my family started doing that when I started school. And I'm like, guys, no, I don't do that.
You're not that type of doctor.
No, I'm not that type of doctor.
Being a good person is going to help you find that community, but also being a genuine person. Don't be someone who you're just like being good to be good, I guess. Be good because you want to be good. And when you're doing that, you're going to find more people who they like you for that, but also you're going to find people who like your actual personality.
And it's okay to say no, too, if you legitimately are not. If your buddy's like, hey, I need help wiring my house. And you're like, hey, I'm not an electrician.
I can't wire that for you.
So, don't be crazy.
Yeah.
Like what extent? I
just had a last thought.
Okay.
And I don't know where it went. It just went right off the balcony. It was just gone. That group that I had mentioned. So my friend, or my brother, Daniel, my friend Trayden, my friend Carly, those three and us, we are super, super nice, and we will literally move the world for you if you ask us to. However, we are also super sarcastic and very snarky people. And some people think that's us being rude. And they're like, how could you say that to each other? How could you call each other those names? It's just how we are. So being genuine, but then also being good goes a long way, I feel like.
That's a good way of putting it.
So let us know down below if you have a community like that, what your guys' kind of dynamic is. Let's chat about it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys on Friday. Cheers.
Cheers.